Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Christine Rutner, and I'm part of the Lightspeed marketing team. And I'd like to welcome you today to our webinar with our partner Kenect on how to get found and seen online through automated reputation management. I'd like to first go over just a couple of housekeeping items. Our webinar today is being recorded. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A field at the bottom of your screen, and we'll try to get to as many questions as we can at the end of today's presentation. I'd like to welcome Zach Bradford, who's with Lightspeed, and also our presenter today, Michael Kidd. So I'll turn it over to Michael.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. It's great to be with you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. This means a lot to us. Excited to show you a little bit about what we've been working on a reputation management front. I think a lot of you have probably heard of us mostly on the texting and chat front, but we've made a lot of cool improvements on our reputation side, and I think it's going to jive well with kind of what's out there today and just strengthening your online presence. And that's kind of the focal point. Of course, I wanted to do a little bit of a dive into our integration with Lightspeed too, because I think that's very noteworthy. Everything's just easier when you're integrated, right? Especially with a great DMS like Lightspeed. And Lightspeed, they've been wonderful partners of ours. I believe we first partnered together in like 2019. So it's definitely been a while. Great partners. We love working with them, and we love working with all you dealers. We're huge in the non-auto, power sports, marine, trailer, RV space. And we really want to help you guys strengthen your Google My Business pages and just help you generate more reviews and get seen more, click more online. Just a little bit about Kenect. We're based in the great state of Utah, which is kind of funny because I believe Lightspeed has a little bit of a headquarters out here, and Zach just lives kind of down the street from me, which is cool, but we have yet to meet, so we got to meet up for lunch sometime, Zach. But anyway, we have about 10,000 dealerships nationwide, most of those in the power sports marine space. And highlighted in yellow there, we have about 1,300 Lightspeed dealers that are currently integrated with Kenect, which is pretty cool. So like I said, we've been partnered a while, and they're definitely one of our biggest integration partners. And we truly love working with them. And our integration really is a great resource and valuable tool to help automate, not only the texting, but even the review side of things. You can see in the top left corner, these are the Google ratings we've received from dealers just like you who have gone on Google, left us their thoughts, and you can see we're highly rated on Google, and we take that very seriously. And we're hoping to translate, the way we look at Google and our online presence, the way you guys can similarly do the same things and get your reviews up to par, make sure that you guys are the obvious choice when customers go and research, power sports dealers, marine dealers, to go and purchase and service their units. Wanted to point out our OEM partners because this actually is really helpful just from a dollars and cents perspective. Now, Kenect's very affordable for what it does, but we're partnered with each of these OEMs that will actually help subsidize the cost of Kenect through co-op dollars. So if you have co-op dollars, yeah, if you have Kenect and you're not using them, or even if you don't have Kenect, make sure you mention, what OEMs you carry and sell, because odds are we can help get you 50%, some of these even 75% co-op, which is going to be a huge discount, obviously, for you if you have co-op dollars to use. Now, my questions really today to help get this kicked off is, are you ready to be a digital dealer? As we know, more buying's done remotely and digitally than ever before. There's really no such thing as like a fresh up or a phone up, someone who just comes up and walks on the lot looking to buy something. Odds are 99.9% of the time they've done all their research online well in advance to the time they show up in your dealership. And not only are they researching, the year, the make, the model, but they're researching dealers is actually kind of the one of the main things that's kind of switched recently, is once they found out what they want to buy, they're now looking to Okay, who am I going to buy this from? I know there's 10 power sports dealers, marine dealers in my area that all carry the same brand that I'm interested in. Who am I going to give my business to? And it kind of comes down, the first step in that process is reviews. And who's got the best reviews on Google? Who's got, owners or GMs responding to those reviews? And who has the best average? Like that's what Google is going to look at to rank you guys. When a customer searches on Google, Google's going to rank you according to your average, the number of reviews, and if you're responding to your reviews. So it's very important to have a very strong Google My Business page and to take that very seriously to stand out. And I guarantee you, if you take the steps we go over today, and we can help you with the tools that we offer, obviously, but you're going to help strengthen that. You're going to be seen more. You're going to get clicked more. You're going to get more leads. This is going to have a trickle down effect all the way from sales to parts to service and ultimately to your bottom line. So here's the 4 pillars of Connect, I guess you could say. Like I said, a lot of you are probably very familiar with Connect. We've probably called you a time or two just to go over like our services. You're probably familiar with like our chat, our SMS, texting, but we're making headway really on the managed reputation side, and that's our last pillar. There is obviously we're helping dealers communicate better by texting and generating new leads through our web chat, offer that digital buying experience. But today we're focusing on that last one, just managing your online reputation. We're going to help generate more 5-star reviews. We're going to help you mitigate 1-star reviews. And we're going to help you respond to your reviews and get your SEO up. Now, with our best dealers that are using Connect, this is how we see most dealers using it. A lot of this is text messaging related, but ultimately, yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about the Lightspeed integration and how with the integration, we can help automate your review requesting to your dealers. And so I've highlighted in blue, like the ones that the Lightspeed integration can really help automate. So you don't have to do this manually. Some of this is more texting and chat related, and then others like the ones that says boost your star rating, send automated review requests. The Lightspeed integration is going to be a perfect resource for you guys to be able to do this. So you don't even have to think about it. It's going to be all running behind the scenes. This is just a quick glimpse of our inbox. As you can see, this is laid out very clean, very simple. It's kind of like your email inbox. You got your conversations listed over here off to the left, and you can toggle between those, and that's going to load the thread up in the middle with the contact details kind of showing in that last box. But I think what dealers love most about Connect is the number one feedback we hear is it's easy to use, and dealers love a system that is just easy to use and works and has a clean and simple user interface with very little issues and very little training required. Anyone can pick it up. If you've ever sent a text in your life, you're gonna love Connect. It's very easy. And our mobile app kind of does all the same things. Just wanted to highlight this. You can send pictures, text, respond to leads, and of course, wanted to highlight request review. So anything I've shown you here on the desktop version of Connect today, you can download our mobile app. You could do it all from your phone. And one of the cool things about Connect is we host your dealership number for texting. And so it's not your personal number and it's not some random number. We'll host the main number that's listed on Google as your text-enabled number that everyone in the dealership will then communicate from, which just provides a great customer experience that they have one number that they can call and one number that they can text for whatever they need. And Connect kind of does the rest on handling those texts to send them, hey, this is a parts related question, this is a service related question, sales, and it will smart route those to the applicable teams and team leads and people in those departments. So pretty cool that we can get your main business number set up for texting. Everything we do revolves around texting, even our review requests. We don't do review requests outside of text. It's completely through text, no email, because we found that that's just the best way to communicate with customers. Now, think about that. 98% of texts are going to be opened and read within 3 minutes. Compare that to email, voicemails. It's going to be hours, days before some of your customers read those. So we know when you're asking for a review, those customers are going to see that pretty much instantaneously. And the odds of those reviews actually coming through to your Google page are going to go up astronomically. If you were to send a review request out over email, you could pretty much kiss that review goodbye. It's just not going to happen. But I wanted to highlight our integration with Lightspeed because I feel like this is very important for those who aren't familiar with what it does and how we do it. It really boils down to four main parts. We got our contact sync. So all the contacts from Lightspeed will come into Kenect. And that's an every hour sync. So anyone that's come in recently, we're going to pop that contact into Kenect so you can send them review requests, you can text them, whatever you may be wanting to do. Number two is lead push. So anytime that, if you're using our web chat and you have it on your website, we can push those leads right into Kenect and we can push those leads right into Lightspeed. And those leads will be sourced accordingly as a lead and as Kenect, so you can run specific reports on your leads. And number three, messages sent from Kenect, including review requests, will post into Lightspeed as well for full visibility. So you don't have to toggle around between the two systems as much. We have a great integration that just allows you to see everything that's going on with a customer right in Lightspeed because everything is going to be syncing and posting almost lifetime. It's about once an hour. And then fourth, and this is what's really going to help automate your reviews requesting, is the automated text messages. Number four. This is my favorite part of the integration because I feel like there's a lot of value here. And so anytime you close a sales deal or a service order, Kenect's going to get that information from Lightspeed, and you can set those messages up. Most dealers are saying, hey, as soon as I close a deal or I close an RO, I want Kenect to send an automated review request the day of that closes. And the day of seems to work the best because the longer you wait, the less likely the customer is going to do it. Even though texts have a 98% open rate, again, we don't want to wait too long after that point of sale or point of service. Want to get that out pretty quickly. And further, you can send out all sorts of automated messages. It doesn't have to be just a review request. Obviously, that should be like your step number one. But maybe step number two is like a 1 week follow-up, post-sale, post-service. In service, maybe it's like a 1 week follow-up from the service manager. And you can schedule as many messages you want to go out, even up to like a year or two, just to get customer engagement back up. And so that's probably one of my favorite parts of the integration is just the automation and the ability to customize what you want to say. And you can determine exactly when you want those to go out, which is pretty cool. Couple screenshots here of, kind of what this looks like from a sales perspective when we complete a sale and receive that information from Lightspeed. Just for your information, we are in this Lightspeed screenshot, we are going off the finalized date, right? So that's the date that we trigger off of. If that date's filled in, we're going to go ahead and send a message. And then in Kenect, it's pretty easy. You just say, hey, I'm going to send this first message 15 minutes after the finalized date closed deal completes. And here's the template I want to send. You just type it out. And you can see we use some code snippets to pull in fields like first name. You can also use other snippets, year, make, and model, stuff like that. And you can see this dealer only has two automated messages set up. Looks like they have one that goes out 15 minutes after a closed deal, and the next one goes out 365 days later. So it's a 1 year anniversary text congratulating them on the purchase of their machine that they've had for now 1 year. But just know this is completely customizable. You can add as much as you want in here. And some dealers really utilize this, have 20 to 30 automated messages go out throughout the year, even past a year. With the sales RO, we're going off the cashier date. So whenever that date is populated is when we are going to go ahead and trigger our completed work order closed RO messages. Again, step number one should probably be like a review request. And then, I mean, in this instance, we have a day 10 follow-up text. And it comes from like the service manager, just following up with how their service was. Again, completely customizable. You can add as many as you want. And this is what the conversation sync will look like in Lightspeed. So you can go to a contact record and you can see all the text messages sent over here and over off to the right. And you can know that these are from Kenect because when it says to, the customer, the from will say Kenect. And it'll show you the message that was sent from Kenect. So again, full visibility of what's going on right in Lightspeed, which eliminates a lot of the back and forth toggling. You also have your full text message inbox that you can click into without having to be in a specific customer record. You just have your generic inbox. You can see all the messages and click into one and read those. Okay. So what's coming next with the Lightspeed integration? We do have some really cool, exciting things kind of in the pipeline with Lightspeed that's near completion. And so this is just a little bit of a teaser trailer, not really relevant to today's call, but I wanted to just put this out there that, we're tapping into a lot of the service specific endpoints with Lightspeed and our API with them. And we'll be releasing some really cool stuff from a service aspect. We call it Service AI. And basically, you can see in this timeline is we're going to be automating service campaigns for you. Our AI is actually really, really good, and it's going to start texting your customers automatically. These are just some examples of some campaigns that our dealers have put in. But this is all automatic, where the AI actually will have one-to-one conversational messaging back and forth with customers to get them in to schedule service appointments with you guys. So some of the popular ones, recall campaigns, missed service appointments, automated status updates in service. So, customers will get status updates when a tech starts looking at their machine. Maybe when the repair is complete or parts are ordered, stuff like that. Purchase anniversary. For retention campaigns, we got like winterization reminders, summarizations, 50-hour service, 100-hour service, 3-year warranty. Again, this is all customizable, but just wanted to give you just a quick glimpse and an idea of what's possible. And this is all done through AI. Our AI will actually have smart, intelligent conversations with customers, and it completely sounds very realistic and human. The customer would have no idea that they were chatting, texting with an AI. So you can kind of see just a little bit of a back and forth conversation here with our AI on a recall campaign, where it's actually scheduling an actual dealer or an actual customer to come in and get their recall taken care of. So pretty cool stuff coming down the pipeline here with Lightspeed, but let's get into the bread and butter of our webinar today about customer retention and loyalty through Google reviews. Now, I did just a quick search here in Utah. You could see I typed in power sport dealers near me. And Google gave me a few options, and the number one option is Carl Malone Power Sports in Provo, Utah. They have 1,658 reviews and a 4.5 average. Number two was actually another Carl Malone Power Sports, but in Heber, Utah, and they have 672 reviews, 4.7 average. And then last, well, not last, third place, far from last, 4.3 average and 581 reviews. But it's a no-brainer, right? While Carl Malone is the number one spot, and that's going to get the most clicks. Most people are going to be clicking on that to go to their website. And that's because they have a ton more reviews than anyone else in the area. Their sister store, they have about 1,000 more reviews. Now, even though their sister store has a 4.7 average on Google, which is higher than their 4.5, Google's complex algorithm is still looking at just the sheer number of reviews is more important than their 4.7 average at their sister store, right? So it's not just one thing that's going to rank you appropriately. It's a combination of several things, but we know that those three main things are your average, your number of reviews, the recency of your reviews, and are you responding to your reviews? If you're doing those four things and you're continually getting reviews and asking for reviews, and it's not just like a incentive you do 1 month and you're paying your salespeople, $25 gift cards if they get a review for that month. You're doing like a blitz. That's great and it'll help for that month. But consumers and Google, they want to see just a continuous influx and flow of reviews coming in every week, every month. And so it's kind of complex, but we know it boils down to those four things. And I can guarantee you that most people, when they do these types of searches, they're going to be clicking on the top three options, with obviously the first option getting clicked the most, the second getting second most, third getting the third most. If you're not in the top three, you're falling behind and your chances of getting clicked fall drastically, right? So it's important. You want to be in the top three, and ideally, we're going to help you get in the top spot. These dealers are Kenect dealers, actually, the Carl Malone ones, and they utilize our reputation management services, and you can see they do a really good job. And they get a lot more foot traffic, obviously, than Edge Power Sports, which is doing pretty good. But Carl Malone's beating them on basically every front, and I can guarantee you they're getting more leads, more foot traffic through their door. What we do to help drive reviews, and specifically 5-star reviews, is called private feedback. And this mitigates negative reviews from coming in. And GMs have always been a little weary of just blanketing everyone with a review request automatically. I've been with Kenect almost 7 years, and the number one feedback I've heard from GMs about turning on automated reviews through like their Lightspeed integration is, well, what if someone's going to give me a bad review? What if someone didn't have a good experience? I know I've been struggling in the service department lately. We're 2 months booked out in service. Everyone's going to give me a bad review. And that's been the age-old problem about just automated review requests. They wanted to pick and choose and only send to the happy customers, which is a good strategic move, but when you think of it that way, it just never got done. When it's not automated, it just doesn't get done. I know you'd like to put your faith in your sales manager and your salespeople and your BDC managers to send review requests out manually. And given there are probably some dealerships that do a good job of it, but by and large, it falls through the cracks. It just doesn't get done unless it's automated through an integration. And our approach to that is called private feedback. And the way it works is we ask a simple question, says, would you recommend, Karl Malone Power Sports? Yes or no? If it's a yes, perfect. We know they had a good experience. We know they recommend you. So we're shooting them to leave a review on Google, Facebook. You can add a third option if you want, like, I don't know, Cycle Trader or whatever type of review site you want to add. But I mean, the important ones are Google and Facebook. You can add Yelp if you want to do Yelp, but that's kind of a dying site. And then if it's a no, you can see the last screenshot is how can we improve? It's called private feedback. We actually don't direct customers to leave public reviews if they say I would not recommend this dealership. This goes to the GM as private feedback. So you can see there's pretty much zero risk now in automating your reviews because if someone didn't have a good experience, we aren't trying to push them to leave a review on Google. We're pushing them to a place to leave feedback. That just goes to the GM, which can text back to the customer or set up a call and resolve those concerns and see what the problem was. And it's a valid concern, and the GM probably wants to take care of it. But just know that this is not going to translate into a 1-star review at all. So we're mitigating that. This is what our private feedback looks like. This is an actual real dealership. And you can see this is the feedback the customer left. Says the entire process took longer than expected, and it felt like there was a lack of efficiency in handling paperwork, finalizing the sale. Streamlining these processes could significantly improve customer experience and reduce frustration. And so the GM got that, and you can see the GM texted back to the customer, and they can mark that as like resolved on their end in their private feedback dashboard. So this is like a specific dashboard just for private feedback. And so you can see in this dealership alone, we have statuses where they've resolved 702 private feedbacks. Whether that was like a positive outcome or a negative outcome, I don't really know. It's just the dealer resolved it in some shape or form. They have 55 they're currently working on and in progress, and 26 so far need a response. So 26 people have not been responded to yet. So kind of cool just to see that most of the time it's just the GMs and like general sales managers that have access to this page. The other aspect of our managed reputation suite is managed reviews. Now, this is a problem because 75% of dealers don't actually respond to their reviews, believe it or not. And we know Google looks at that very unfavorably if you're not responding to reviews. And you're going to be ranked a lot lower in Google searches and your SEO if you're not. So we can help you with that. Well, you can do it yourself from Kenect. Kenect allows you to respond to reviews manually. But again, half the time it gets done, half the time it doesn't. It's very time consuming. GM's got a lot going on. So a lot of times they just don't do it. So our solution would be, well, we could just do it for you. And we respond to every review for you within 24 hours. And that's going to translate very positively to your Google page and just your overall ranking and SEO. So I guarantee those Karl Malone Power Sport dealers we looked at, 100%, they're getting their reviews responded to by us and within 24 hours. And Google's like, perfect. You guys are getting ranked much higher on the leaderboard. And then our other offering with our managed reputation suite is called managed disputes. Now, every dealer out there is going to get some 1-star reviews. It's inevitable. Some of them are valid, some of them are invalid. And our smart AI actually reads through every review from every dealer that signs up with us, and it's going to automatically send a dispute to Google. if it goes against Google's terms of service. And our AI is very smart. It just knows what's disputable and what's not. So not everything's disputable with Google, but certainly some things are. And some examples of that are like uh, profanity. Customer uses any profanity, our AI will dispute it, we'll get it removed. 100% will get that removed from your Google business page. If you have a disgruntled employee who was let go and is just going off on the GM or the dealership, again, not a customer, it's an employee. Our AI is going to detect that, it's going to dispute it, we'll get that for removal. So when a dealer signs up with this, on average, we're able to remove like, gosh, I mean, it really depends, but I'd say like 5 to 10 reviews, like just right off the bat. And then we just proactively automatically monitor the reviews that come in every day, every week, every month. And if we ever catch one, we submit it to Google for dispute. And we also copy the GM on there. And so you'll know the verdict. And generally, our AI is smart enough to detect what's disputable. So when we do submit one, we have like a really good percentage of getting it removed. But just wanted to let GMs would get notifications on the disputable reviews and what the final outcome was with Google on those. So just for your visibility. But just getting even one review or a couple reviews that are 1 stars can have a drastic impact on your overall average, right? Let's say you're a fairly new power sports dealer just starting out. Maybe you have only 50 reviews. Right now you're sitting at a 5.0 perfect star rating. And then out of nowhere, you get someone that leaves a 1 star and you go down to like a 4.8, 4.7 overnight. That's such a bummer to see that. And maybe it's something that we can dispute for you. Who knows? So we can help you with those, is what it comes down to. And the last part of our offering is called our reviews carousel. And we know that your Google My Business page is going to get like 10 times the amount of views and foot traffic your actual website does, because that's where people are going as first line of business to research dealers and read reviews and look at your store hours. But if a customer actually clicks on your website, we also want to showcase your reviews on your website. And so typically on the home page, but some dealers have like a review page, kind of up to you where you want to put this, but essentially it's a script that we would install on your website where we work with your website provider. If you're using like Dealer Spike or something, we can install this script on there very easily. But it's a carousel rotating format of your most recent 5 star reviews. And you can even throw in some 4 star reviews. That's completely up to you. Some people like having 4 star reviews up there just to let people know, yeah, we're human. Not everything we do is 5 star worthy. So in this case, this dealer, you could see the middle review from Yash Nicholson. It's a 4 star review, and that's because the dealership specifically wanted to showcase 4 and 5 star reviews. But it just cycles through those like a carousel would, and it automatically updates. So you don't have to like pick and choose which ones are on there, and they're not static. So anytime you get new reviews that are 5 and 4 star, it's going to automatically update for you on your website. And that's just a great way, again, to just let customers know that you guys are providing a good experience for your customers. And that's important. All right, so the 3 key benefits here. Number one, it's just building trust and credibility. 75% of consumers trust online reviews basically just as much as like a personal recommendation. I mean, Amazon's kind of the extreme look at that. We're looking at reviews for just about everything on Amazon. I know I am. Something stupid like bed sheets. I'm not going to buy bed sheets on Amazon that have like less than a 4 star rating, right? But if it's got a 4.8, can absolutely guarantee I'm going to be buying those bed sheets. Um, but people look at that as, oh, that's a strong recommendation right there. So I'm going to buy that. So people actually view reviews just as well as like a personal or family recommendation, which I thought was really interesting. This came directly from Google. Boosting your SEO, your search engine optimization. Businesses that display reviews on their website see a 45% increase, in organic traffic on average. And then the conversion rates. Dealers displaying reviews increase website conversion rates up to 275%. And website visitors who interact with reviews spend 31% uh, more than those who don't. So some really cool, really interesting stats here that we've gotten from Google and our own data here. But that pretty much wraps it up. I don't want to go, too much into the weeds here. Um, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. But like I said, it kind of breaks down into, four main parts. And I want to reiterate this because it's very important. You know, keep an eye on your average rating, the number of reviews, the recency of your reviews, and just make sure you're asking for reviews from every customer and responding to every review within 24 hours. And I can guarantee you, wherever you're sitting on Google's ranking, you're going to start seeing the ranks climb. And if you make this a priority of your business, not just for a week, a month, but forever, you're going to climb up to the top three spots, the top one spot. You're going to improve your business, guaranteed. There's no question. So that's kind of the gist of it. I want to thank you for listening to my 2 cents on managed reputation and Google My Business. It's a big part of the industry right now, and we really need to focus on that as a whole. And here's my information. So if you found today's content interesting, if you had any questions, please feel free to give us a call or text us at that number. You can also email us, but we are a texting company, so we prefer the text. Just shoot us a text if you're at all interested or have any questions about Kenect, our managed reputation, our chat. You know, maybe you already have Kenect and you just don't have us integrated with Lightspeed. Let's get you integrated because that's where the real value is going to be realized. The integration can do a whole lot more than I guarantee what you're doing manually with Kenect. It just doesn't make sense to have Kenect and Lightspeed and not have the two systems integrated. So let's get you integrated. On that note, I will turn the time over to Christine. I think we have some questions that maybe poured in or something, and we'll do like a live Q&A.
Yep, we have a few questions that came in. One of them is, can I run lead reports in Lightspeed for Kenect leads?
You absolutely can. Yeah. So we push the leads over into Lightspeed, and they should be sourced as Kenect and Lightspeed. So yes, if you're running your lead reports for the month and you're wanting to know how many you got from Kenect and possibly like your close rate and stuff like that, should all be within Lightspeed. If you're correctly integrated and set up with us, got the lead push all working, 100%, you can definitely do that. Good
Awesome.
question.
Next question, how long does it take to get set up on reputation management?
That's a great question as well. And it really depends on how quickly you want to move. And if you have the proper credentials for like Google and Facebook, we can get you going in a matter of a few days up to, a couple weeks. Just depends if you have those readily available and can transfer ownership over to us to help us manage your listings for you.
Awesome. Last question, how many review responses do you respond to, and how many review requests can we send out? Is there a limit?
Great question. We unlimited review requests, 100% unlimited review requests. There is different tiers of review responses that you can sign up for. Our basic tier is 50 reviews a month, and I don't really know too many power sports marine dealers, trailer RV dealers that are getting more than 50 reviews per month. But if you need more than that, we have tiers that go up to, 70, from there would go 75 reviews, 100 reviews. And it just goes up accordingly. But I mean, 50 reviews seems like the perfect amount for most dealers.
Awesome. Well, there aren't any additional questions. If anybody online has some questions that they want to type into the Q&A field, we can get to those really quick. Otherwise, thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Michael, for sharing all of the information with us on reputation management and how to help these dealers be successful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye now.
Bye bye.